Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barons. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here in the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Brooklyn Barons Relocation franchise here on Madden 23. And boys, we did it. The rebuild is technically complete. We have won a Super Bowl for the Brooklyn Barons. Last episode, if you did not see it, we took on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and former Barons quarterback Justin Fields for the second time in the same season. This time for all the marbles, and our guys got it done. The good guys are world champions for the first time in franchise history. Last year we made the playoffs, but we got beat in disappointing fashion to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game. This year, we were the team of destiny, and we completed it. We did it. We are the champs. We are on top of the world, and hopefully, this means that it's going to be a little bit easier to re-sign players in the re-sign period, and for free agency, maybe people want to come here now. They're more likely to be interested because we're champs. We got defending champ resume now, so it could be a little bit easier. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is the long-awaited off-season video. Everybody loves a good off-season video. We've had some crazy ones in the past. We've signed Justin Jefferson in an off-season video. We've signed Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds in an off-season video. We've drafted the #1 overall pick in the off-season, Shaquem McLeod, before. So we've had some pretty insane off-seasons in the history of this series. Will this one be any different? Probably not. It's probably going to be just as crazy, if not crazier, because we have barely any cash to spend. We have a lot of contracts we got to figure out, and we've got some draft picks who may turn out to be pretty good. So it's all up in the air. This is going to be a wild episode. I hope you guys do go and enjoy. If you do, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get straight into it, because I love doing off-season videos. It's the best part of any series here on Madden, or on any franchise series that we do. It's time for the long-awaited off-season, and as you can see in the middle of your screen, available salary cap, $2.75 million. As I was saying in the intro, we have zero cash to spend. But that could change with us moving on from some key pieces. 2025 season recap. We took a look at this at the end of last episode. We beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 34-7. Bryce Hall wins the MVP because he had the fumble recovery for a touchdown. We all really know that it was Jalen Hurts who won the MVP of that. He had a fantastic game. So Jalen Hurts is our Super Bowl MVP, but in the game of Madden, they gave it to Bryce Hall because they value those kind of plays a little bit more than they should, probably. Ryan Dable also won Coach of the Year, so that's pretty awesome. But that is not what we care about. We care about a couple of things. Signing some players back, figuring out who we want to draft. We've talked about this previously on many different occasions. Who do we like as our top of our board? I don't really even know. Do we try to trade up and take one of these tackles? Because both of these tackles look phenomenal, especially Alani Johnson. He looks phenomenal. So do we trade up and take a tackle? Because we probably need to move on from our right tackle, Evan Neal. So does Alani Johnston come in and be an immediate replacement? That's a possibility. Do we just do we trade up to take John Scarborough? I don't think he's really that good enough to trade up to be a top 5 pick for us, but he does look pretty good, and I think he's super fast, isn't he? He's like a fast guy, is that right? No, he's only solid to good. I thought he was more of a fast player. I must be thinking of somebody else. But we do have Devin Traylor, who has zone coverage at a B, but his man coverage is a D, so he's kind of like the reverse of the normal corner you usually get in these draft classes, which is very interesting to me, and it has me a little bit intrigued. He's only 5'10", though, which kind of concerns me. This draft class isn't the best. I will say that. It does have some nice players in it, but players at positions that we don't necessarily need, and it's a very, very tackle-friendly class. It is a tackle-loaded class. 4 of the top 5 projected picks are all tackles. So it is a very tackle-heavy draft. The most recent mock draft has Scarborough going number 1, and it has Alani Johnson going 5. Our first pick is 13, getting Glenn Bowe, a middle linebacker. We also have another pick that's deep in the draft because I think this is our original pick. Devin LeBlanc, a running back, who could be pretty interesting. You never know. They have Devin Traylor going 30 to the Chiefs. We'll see as the offseason progresses how that changes between the next 3 mock drafts. But that's not what we have to care about right now. First off, I want to see if we have any more abilities to upgrade on the staff tree, because we have 130 points, as you can see, and I might want to see if there's anything that we can upgrade. It looks like we've upgraded pretty much everything except for the player personnel tree. So let's just go through that and just get some big boys up here upgraded. Might as well go here, increase the likelihood of all this kind of stuff. Offensive linemen, all that good stuff. There we go. You see how quickly we can go through 130 staff points? It's not that much when you think about it, but we do have more of the staff tree upgraded now, so that's awesome. We still have Doug Peterson and Lovie Smith as our offensive defensive coordinators. We'll see if they stick around as we simulate past staff moves and go to the re-sign period. I'm hoping that we can make some deals. And mock draft number 3 is available now once we get into the period, so we will take a look at that as well. We do have to fill somebody. Somebody got hired. Who is it? It is Doug Peterson and Lovie Smith. They both took head coaching jobs. It's understandable. We just are coming off of a Super Bowl championship. Usually when a team wins a Super Bowl or has a really good year, their offensive defensive coordinators get hired. So that's understandable. I'm not upset about that. I did expect it to happen pretty soon. Only problem is it doesn't look like there's any more head coaches that we could sign as coordinators. So we're going to have to take some of these guys. Okay, so let's see. What offensive playbook were we running? Were we running Brian Dable's playbook? I think we were. So it doesn't really matter with these guys. Let's take Nathaniel Hackett. I think I'm going to stick away from you. Let's see. Jerome Forbes could be. I like Tex. Tex Jacobs is a great name. We're going to hire him as our offensive coordinator and our defensive coordinator. Who should we go with here? Jackson Pierce. Bubba. Oh, we're going Bubba for sure. What a name. We're just getting guys with great names. Bubba Davis. Okay, so now we have to rehire or adjust these guys' staff trees because we need to do that. So we will go down finesse, run block, power. Let's go down this side of the tree for the offensive coordinator. Do that really quickly. Then go to the defensive coordinator. Make sure we go down the right side of the tree here. Let's go down the boost block shed for defensive tackles could be good. Let's go down this side of the tree. Boost the block shed for our pass rushers. Make sure that's all fine and dandy. Then we can go over here, boost play rec for corners. I want to go down that side of the tree. Do that, yada, yada, yada. Get all this stuff figured out. Let's go down this side of the tree. Boost carrying for quarterbacks could be useful, so we'll go with that because we know that Jalen Hurts, if you remember all the way back in the first episode of the season, Jalen Hurts fumbled on his very first play because we did a read option and he fumbled on it. So that wasn't a very good welcome to Brooklyn kind of thing for Jalen Hurts. It was kind of funny though. Boost offense awareness for linemen. We might as well do that. We got to get up to here to the weight room so that our offensive linemen are strong because I think that played a very big part of our Super Bowl championship this year is because Doug Peterson was upgraded all the way. So now that we hired our coordinators, I am kind of curious to see where they got hired. Where did Peterson get hired to? So Mike McDaniel got fired from the Bears. Very interesting. But he got hired by the Vikings, so he goes in division. Doug Peterson gets hired by the Seahawks. Good for him. And Lovie Smith gets hired by the Browns. Okay. So they're coming off of Super Bowl championships, and the Seahawks and the Browns get their head coaches. I wonder if we play the Seahawks and the Browns this season. That'd be pretty funny. Trade offers for Will Washington. We're not trading the founding father, and we're not trading Sawyer Dart. So we've got retirements in the mock draft. We'll take a look at those. Cam Hayward retires. Matthew Judon. Andrew Norwell, Marcus Peters, Matt Stafford, Darius Slay. Some big names. Cody Whitehair is the guy for us. Brandon Scherf, J.C. Treader, Kyle Juicy Juice, Lane Johnson, Teron Armstead. Some big names. Fletcher Cox, Jarvis Landry, Zach Martin. Wow. Some future Hall of Famers in here. Keenan Allen, Joel Bitonio, Russell Wilson's gone. Ted Karras, Mitch Morse, Demario Davis, future Hall of Famer Brett Hundley, gone. Akeem Hicks, Levante David, Robert Quinn. Man, this Hall of Fame class is going to be pretty big. There's a lot of future Hall of Famers that retire. Kirk Cousins, Eric Fisher, Kyle Fuller, former 2nd overall pick, Eric Fisher. Clinton Dix, Blake Bortles. Talk about Hall of Famers. Blake Bortles retired. That's a big that's a big retirement class. Some big names. Zach Martin especially. Russell Wilson. All right, mock draft number 3. It has Courtney Austin jumping to the number 1 spot for the Vikings. Very interesting. Larry English is up here now. It looks like Alani Johnson still is at number 5. I don't know what I want to do. This is a class where I just don't know where I want to be. We have the 14th pick. I just don't know where I want to go. Like last year was very, very simple. We have the number 1 pick. We're either taking the quarterback or we're taking Shaquem McLeod. We ended up deciding on Shaquem McLeod, and it ended up working out very well for us. Does he have X Factor? I'm assuming he does. And by the way, is anybody else up to X Factor or Superstar? Any development trade upgrades? It doesn't look like it, even though Jalen Hurts probably should. On defense, Quinnen Williams. Shaquem McLeod only has Superstar. No. He had X Factor. He had X Factor. We're giving him X Factor. I will not stand for this. We know, we saw it in the glitch. He has X Factor, so we will give him X Factor. I'm not standing for this BS regression stuff. He had X Factor. I think they took him down because he got injured. But he had X Factor. We know that for a fact. We know that for a straight up fact. Now, what is his abilities going to be? He has Fearmonger right now. I think I want to give him Unstoppable Force. Recuperation, and he can't get anything else. I don't want to give him Recuperation right now. Let's give him Strip Specialist. Defenders of this ability are refunded a path. No. Persistent. That could be good. Spinner. Hardly know her. Mr. Big Stop. Could be interesting. Bogo. There's not really any good ones right now until we get later into the, like, as he gets more high upgrades. Defenders of this ability are rarely faked out by ball carry movements. I don't really get that to happen very much. Let's just go with Secure Tackler for right now. We'll give him Secure Tackler for right now. And once he gets more upgrades, then we'll change it around maybe. Lewisino, Murphy Bunting drops, and Sauce Gardner drops. No. We're not dealing with none of this regression crap. I don't care. We're not dealing with none of this regression crap. Sauce Gardner is a superstar development player, and Murphy Bunting is an X Factor. Right? He was an X Factor. So we're not doing any of this regression crap. I don't care. You guys can say whatever you want. I'm not doing regression. Regression is BS, especially for guys who had phenomenal seasons. So we are giving Sean Murphy Bunting his X Factor back. And that doesn't even mean that Sean Murphy Bunting's safe on the team. Just because he has an X Factor doesn't mean he's safe on the team. He might get traded. I'm just giving him his X Factor back because he deserves it. So he's got his X Factor back. We need to make sure his abilities are correct. Tip Drill. Tip. He needs to have Acrobat, but he can't have Acrobat right now. Let's see. What should we give him? Tip Drill probably is good. And Strip Specialist. I don't really need him to have Strip Specialist. He can have Outside Shade. That'd be good. And Zone Hawk or Universal Coverage. Derwin James already has Universal Coverage, so let's give him Shutdown. Shutdown's always nice to have on a corner. So he can have Shutdown. Sauce, what is Sauce's abilities? He needs to have Acrobat. Does he have the ability to get Acrobat? Because he needs to have it. He can't get it until he's at 90. Okay, so Short Route, KO, Tip Drill, those are all fine for right now. Okay, so that's good for that kind of stuff. Manny Battles ends up having Star. Malcolm Waynes ends up having Star. That's fine. I figured that they would. But now we need to figure out what we're going to do with Evan Neal. That's a big question. What are we going to do with Evan Neal? Because as you can see by players ready to negotiate, Evan Neal is one of the players that we need to figure out, along with Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau. We got a lot of guys that I want to bring back. And a lot of people that I don't know how to bring back. We're probably going to trade Aiden Hutchinson. I don't want to trade Aiden Hutchinson, but we're probably going to have to, just because we just can't afford it. So Aiden Hutchinson probably out the door. Do we trade Evan Neal? We have a backup right tackle. We have Sawyer Dart, and we could try to trade up to get Alani Johnston. Evan Neal's probably got to be out the door just for cap reasons alone. And we could get a decent haul back for him. It looks like from 3 teams we could get Austin Eckler, but he's probably a little older at this point. We could maybe take some draft picks back in return and maybe a cheap contract. So let's see. Who needs a right tackle? We just traded for Evan Neal last offseason, I think. So the Chargers needed a right tackle. That's why they were going to give us Austin Eckler, but they don't really have the pick equity that I'm looking for. The Commanders need a right tackle. We could trade them Evan Neal, they give us 2 first-round picks and a cheap contract. I'd be okay with that. AJ Dillon's not super cheap. Kendrick Bourne's not cheap. Jonathan Whitfield, who is this? This is a normal development player. Don't really care about him. A couple tight ends. If we trade for a tight end, we could trade TJ Hawkinson, a star development tight end, Juan Jackson. Let me take a look at his ratings and stuff. 84 speed, 86 catching. I'm not really feeling it. Not really feeling it. Cam Robinson, Christian Darrisaw. There's not really anybody on the offensive line that I want. Chase Young, too expensive. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, too expensive. Who's this guy? Damian McLaughlin. Who are you? A star development 26-year-old. 86 power moves, 81 speed, 94 strength, 84 tackling, 72 block shed. Doesn't really have the numbers I'm looking for. He could develop into a solid player, especially with star development. Nathan Sullivan, a 79 overall corner. He's got 91 speed. What's his height? He is 5'11". 97 agility, 94 acceleration. This guy could be pretty good. What about if I did this? 2 first-round picks and Sullivan for Evan Neal. They don't like that. Okay, we can figure something out. You got a ton of cap space, Commanders. You got a ton of cap space. We can figure something out. Do you want Malik Willis to be your starting quarterback? Malik Willis is a very capable backup, but do you want him to be your starter? We have 3 second-round picks. I'd be willing to give you a second-round pick for these draft picks. No, they don't want that. Okay, so Evan Neal is probably going to have to get moved with some draft picks. We'll give you a 3rd-round pick as well, a 2nd and a 3rd, and Evan Neal. Not going to get it done. It's probably going to take a 1st, honestly. But I don't really want to give a 1st. I guess we could give up our own 1st, which is 32nd. That wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't hate that. Let me just get rid of the 2nd-round pick. Evan Neal and our 1st-round pick for 2 firsts and Sullivan is close. Not going to get it done, though. If we give up our 64th overall pick, that is close. Okay, this could get done. This could very well get done. We bump up to, how about pick 58? Pick? Ooh, it's very close. It is very, very close. Do we have a pick in next year that's valued higher? No, it's pick 59. Okay, interesting. So it probably has to be a player then. They need offensive linemen bad. And we don't really have the depth at offensive line that I'm looking to move on from. I like our depth at offensive line. I don't really want to move on from it. But we have Zach Allen. We have a lot of depth at D tackle, which is interesting. Dante Jenkins. You want Dante? Kinda. Not going to get it across the board, though. You want Zach Allen, though. I know you want Zach Allen. No, it doesn't really move. Doesn't really move at all. Okay, we're figuring things out. We're working here. We're moving and shaking. I don't want to give you McLeod or Jermaine Johnson. I like both of those players. Can't give you Hutchinson. I want to make Tremaine Edmonds his own trade, so I don't want to give you him. I could give you Greg Benson. You want Greg Benson? Greggy? No, he went down. It's going to have to be draft picks, but I don't think we have the capital to get draft picks. So maybe Sullivan's not the deal. What about if I just do this? No, they don't like that. Okay. So if I give them... What about if I give them Zach Allen now? That's close, but then we throw in a 2nd-round pick 64. That's not close. We throw in my 1st-round pick with pick 32, that's not close. Or it's close, but not going to go through. Man, they are being very stingy, the Commanders. Very, very stingy. Okay, we'll figure something out. Who else needs a tackle? Who else needs a right tackle? Maybe a tackle or a team with more of a need. Like a higher need, like the Eagles. But they have pick 16. We have pick 14. What's the point? I don't know. Let's see. Who was that? The Jaguars. No, they don't need it. They don't have a good enough pick. I'm looking for a good pick and a place that has a bad right tackle. I feel like it would be pretty easy to find it, but it doesn't look like that combination exists this season. The Commanders might be the best option. We're just going to have to work out the Titans, but again, their pick is pick 5, and they only need right tackle at the 8th spot, or at their 5th spot. What about now if I give you a 2nd round pick? Are you going to get this done? It's close. If I throw in that pick here, that's also close. 1st and a 2nd this year, and Evan Neal. That's very close. I don't want to give up pick 58. What about pick 60? I don't even think pick 58 would go through. 2nd round pick next year? I'm not giving you 2 1st round picks and Evan Neal. I'll give you pick 58. I don't even think this will go through. It doesn't. Evan Neal's going to be tough to trade, especially for what I'm asking. I guess I'm asking for too much, maybe? Let me go back to the Commanders. Let me go back to the Commanders, and let me just ask for... No. Let me stay on the Titans. Let me stay on the Titans. They have pick 5. I want pick 5. Give me pick 5, a future 2nd, and give me a player. But who that player is, I don't know yet. Not Malik McDowell, Jeffrey Simmons, no. Too expensive. Too expensive. These guys are all pretty expensive. Steve Truman's normal development, don't care. Byard, it doesn't look like they have anything. Oh, they got a safety. Angelo Binns, only normal development, but he looks decent. 4 interceptions. All right, they don't really have a lot that I want. Give me a 1st and a 2nd and a 3rd next year for Evan Neal. Okay, what about a 1st and a 2nd next year? You're telling me that's not good enough for you? I'll give you a 3rd rounder. I'll give you a 3rd rounder this year. They're kind of intrigued by that. What about if I give you a 2nd instead? What was the 3rd that I gave? There it is. A 2nd, kinda. A 2nd and a 5th. Do the deal. 2nd and a 4th. Do the roar. Come on. 2nd and a 3rd. I don't want to go much higher. I'm trying to be very stingy on what I'm giving up, but they're being very stingy on what they are willing to give back. It is the 5th overall pick, to be fair. I can go to pick 90, but I can't go higher than that. Ugh, Lord, you gotta be like this. Okay, we can figure this out. I'll give you 2 seconds. It's asking a lot, but I'll give you 2 seconds. Trade is done. Evan Neal is a Tennessee Titan. We give up a 2nd this year and a 2nd next year for the 5th overall pick and a 2nd round pick next year. So basically, we flip flop a 2nd, and now we have negative money because we took on the contract that will end up being the 5th overall pick. So we have to move on from some of that, which is not a big deal. We can do that. We just have to make sure that we don't get expensive picks anymore. So now, with Evan Neal being gone, we need to trade Agent Hutchinson, which I don't want to do. I really don't want to do. We can only get a tackle, Telvin Weaver, and Alfonso Bronson from the Packers. Very interesting. The market on Aiden Hutchinson is not really there, but it's because he's probably so good. And he needs a contract extension. Not many people want to pay him. The Bears needed a left outside linebacker. Duh, Bears. And we could give them Aiden Hutchinson, but they got to give me back something in return. What do you have that's not expensive? You have Dwayne Hurst, a safety. He's star development. Very interesting. You also have Kyler Gordon, who I do like. Let me keep looking around. The Bengals have an interest at left outside linebacker. A lot of people have interest at left outside linebacker, to be fair. The Bengals are paying a lot of their players, though, and I don't really want to get involved in all that. So we'll move on from them. The Broncos are paying a lot of players a lot of money, understandably. The Bucs don't really want to give a champion or a Super Bowl contender another good player, so we're going to stay away from them, especially because they're kind of like a pseudo-rival to us now at this point. The Bucs are paying a ton of players. That's crazy. Who else needs a linebacker? There's got to be a team out here that needs a linebacker and is not paying like a player that's good a lot of money. Like Nick Bolton would be awesome to have. I would love to have Nick Bolton, especially because he's a stud. 88 speed, 97 tackle. And Nick Bolton would be an amazing replacement for Tremaine Edmonds. But he's cost too much, and we gave up that capital. I don't really want to do that. What about if I take Aiden Hutchinson out? What's the market for Nick Bolton? What's the offers? There's no trade packages. Probably because he costs too much money. That's probably why. Aiden Hutchinson and Tremaine Edmonds. I don't really want to do that because Tremaine Edmonds, I want to give him his own deal. This is tricky. We'd also have to give up Nakobe Dean. Oh, he's got a contract extension. David Ajabo is also a interesting piece. I feel like this would go through. So, will you give me a third-round pick or something? A second-round pick next year? Trade offer accepted. Tremaine Edmonds goes to the Chiefs along with David Ajabo for Nick Bolton a second. That just adds on to our cap deficit. But we do get a really good middle linebacker to replace Tremaine Edmonds. Is he under contract? I really hope he is, because we already did that deal. So, what's his contract looking like? He's got 4 years, so that's good. So he's locked down. Nick Bolton's I've wanted Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton's a really good player. I like Nick Bolton a lot. So now we got to move on from Hutchinson, and now we have to throw in another player to equal out the money. And that player is going to be Zach Allen. And I might have screwed myself on this one. I might have screwed the pooch. And our first round pick. Might have screwed the pooch on this one, boys. What can we get for this package? 2 players that are not worth this package. I may have done a little bit too much trading for that 5th overall pick. Because now we are negative more money than who I want to trade, and that's not ever good. We need to free up $2 million. Is there anybody making $2 million that I don't want anymore? Travis Etienne needs a contract, right? I'm not making that up. I think he needs a contract. Yeah, he needs a contract. He's making enough money. Just barely making enough money. We can't really get much back for these guys. Yikes. Yikes skis. Let me throw in Zach Allen in there too, because I don't want Zach Allen. So that frees up $1.2 million in cap space. Is there a player that is making like on a rookie contract? Is there anybody on a rookie contract we could possibly snag? That's a lot of value. That's a lot of value that I'm giving up. We got to get somebody back that's worth that much. That's a crazy amount of value. We just don't have the cap space to work it out. I got to figure this out. There's got to be somebody who is making not a lot of money that's on a rookie deal, like a cheap rookie deal. I'm talking like thousands, 100,000s. And who's like worth the contract, or that's worth the trade, because we're giving the team that we end up trading these players, we're giving them 2 really good players, 1 really good player, 1 good player, and 1 average player, basically, is how I see it. So I want to get some value. I don't want to get fleeced. I don't want to lose the trade, but the only thing I can think of is getting draft picks. And if we do that, we run the risk of still being under the cap. But I guess I could get future draft picks and then just have to figure it out. But this is so much good value. I don't want to just... that's so much value that I'm giving up. Kind of sucks. Let's trade him to the Saints. Give me a first, a second, and a third from next year. Trade decline. Give me a first and a second from next year. Give me a first from next year? Trade decline. That's not going to get it done. Even Zach Allen along with it. Wow, I thought that the Saints, the 12th overall pick wasn't that valued, but I guess it is. I guess we'll have to go to a team that doesn't have that high of a pick, but is also looking for a left outside linebacker. Who do we think is going to be pretty bad? The Vikings are going to be pretty bad. The Bears are going to be pretty bad. Or actually, they're going to be pretty good. The Bengals, no. Let's go to a team that we're probably not going to play, which is probably the Cardinals. Funny enough, we probably would play the Cardinals this season, this next season. That's almost done, so it probably will get done for a first-round pick next year. Trade offer accepted. That's a lot of freaking value for a first-round pick next year. And now we have negative money, too. Because I took on that stupid 5th overall pick. I just had to go trade for the 5th overall pick, but I needed the value for Evan Neal. I couldn't get it out. I couldn't get it out of my head. I needed the value for Evan Neal. And now we don't have Aiden Hutchinson. We can't even pay Kayvon Thibodeau because we don't have any money. We're not going to be able to pay Nakobe Dean. Ooh. Josh Allen might have to be out the door. I don't want to give up. I'm ruining my team. What am I doing? I'm ruining the team. I'm an idiot. What am I doing here? But the problem is I can't pay any of these guys. I want Kayvon Thibodeau. I do. But I can't pay him. And I won't be able to sign anybody in free agency. I screwed the pooch. I screwed the pooch when I traded traded Evan Neal away. And now I can't go back. I can't no takesy backsies. This is the only way we get out of debt, is if we trade both of these guys, which I do not want to do. I severely do not want to do. Wow, that is insane how much I don't want to do that. What could we get in return? We need a left outside linebacker, obviously, now that we traded away one. I mean, we have Steve Smith, but I'd rather have maybe another player there just in case. Yikes. 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 I really screwed it. Why is everybody making so much freaking money, man? Ashton Lewis? No. Everybody's making so much money. I don't want it. Why is everybody making so much money? Pinky Olsen? What a name, by the way. Pinky Olsen? Who's this? Lorenzo Carter. Walter Worthington? Walter Worthington. Andrew Wade. Star development player. Christian Harris. That is not value. That is not good value. This would easily go through. But I don't want it to go through because I don't want... Why am I an idiot? Why am I an absolute, utter buffoon? What am I doing? I can't do that. I can't do that trade. Negative $7 million in cap space. Thibodeau needs a contract. Lewis C needs a contract. Jermaine Johnson needs a contract. Malik Willis needs a contract. Shirona. What do we do? We could tag one of these guys. Tag. It's just a matter of who we tag. Do we tag Thibodeau? Do we tag Scene? Do we trade Scene? I really like Lewis Scene. I really, really, really like Lewis Scene. I think we tag Thibodeau. I think we tag Kayvon Thibodeau. Trade Lewis Scene. And cry. Ugh. We can't even trade Lewis Scene because we have no cap space. That's right. God, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. I apologize. I screwed this up. I screwed this up royally. We're just going to have to tag Thibodeau and bite the bullet and lose those guys for nothing. Negotiate. Make an offer. Oh, I can't even make an offer because I have negative money. Oh. Oh. So I can't even make an offer because I have negative money. So what we do is we're just going to have to trade Nakobe Dean and Jermaine Johnson. And somebody else. Nakobe Dean, Jermaine Johnson going to have to go. Nakobe's gone. Jermaine's gone wherever he's at. There he is. Jermaine's gone. And then we still need to free up $3.85 million. Who is making that we have to get out of here? Sauce, I'm not going to let go. Murphy Bunting, we talked about it earlier. Murphy Bunting might have to be a guy that gets out of here. I do not want to do that because we can't get anything for him. I mean, that's a lot of value right there. Look at that value we're giving up. Just to free up money, just to sign Kayvon Thibodeau to a tag, which would take us crazy negative. I hate my life. I truly, truly hate my life. If we're going to trade these guys, I'm going to get a corner back for them. Just saying. Even though I don't want to do this at all. Definitely don't want to do this. But I got to get a corner back because I don't want to go down in depth. Who's a good corner that's not cheap, that's not expensive? I know there's a lot of corners out there. There's got to be one that fits the bill. There's Alfonso Bronson. He was offered to us earlier. Jalen Ramsey's far too expensive. Not a lot of teams have depth at corner. That's crazy. I thought teams would have a lot more depth at corner. I'm not really seeing anybody that I want though. Where are all the corners that I'm interested in? Who's this guy? Kyrie Hanna. He's only got normal development, so I'm kind of out on him already. I don't really have time to work on a normal development corner. Deion Smith hasn't yet normal development, but he's a 77 overall. Kind of intrigued by him. Not crazy intrigued. There's Nathan Sullivan. We could always go back to him. We could always go back to him. There's Deion Taylor. We talked about him in the draft, I think, but he's making a little bit too much for my liking. Rashawn Bennett, Damian Adams, Brian Tulloch, Stephon Morrow. What's this Alfonso Bronson guy looking like? Only normal development. Let me take a look at his numbers. 90 speed, 80 man coverage, 69 zone coverage. I don't like it. He's just a fast athlete is all he is. J.C. Widmer, Chad Mays, Jeremiah Roberts. Star development, 94 speed, 6'2", 66 man. That sucks. He's got good physicals. I like that player, but that man coverage being so low kind of frightens me. Antonio Riddick's not good. Dion Caldwell is a star development player. What'd that say he was? He was 5'9", and he can't play man. Why is it everybody not being able to play man? I would prefer a corner that could actually play man coverage. Is that too much to ask? I didn't realize that was a lot to ask. Teron Johnson. Who's that guy? Marcus Clayton. Normal development, 6 foot. No, not Byron Jones. Don't want Byron Jones. Did we take a look at Deion Smith? I think we did. He can actually play man more than he can play zone, which is interesting, but he's only got normal development. It's kind of a balance. Like, what do you want? Do you want a guy that has development trait, or do you want a guy that can play coverages? He can't play zone, but he's a speed guy, and he's a star development player. You know what? I'm a fan of Nathan Sullivan. I think he's a pretty decent player, and he's not expensive. What about Brian Washington? Normal development. I kind of just need bodies. Damian McLaughlin. Did we look at him? I think we looked at him. Okay, that would free up enough money to bring in, or to be able to sign Thibodeau, I would assume, right? I think I can sign Thibodeau. No, I still have -7 million. Is it because I have those draft picks? It might be because I have those draft picks still. Sullivan and McLaughlin are up for contracts next season. Fun. Yay, that's always nice. But I can't even make I want to negotiate with you, Kayvon, but I don't have enough money to negotiate with you. Let me negotiate. I know I can restructure my contracts. I screwed this up. I'm going to lose them all. I'm going to lose them all. How did this happen? It's because I traded Evan Neal for nothing. Or for a first-round pick. For the 5th overall pick. In a class that's not even that great. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I mean, this team is still very good, but losing Thibodeau is going to hurt. Losing Lewis Seen is going to hurt. Wow. We're going to have to pay Dominic Peck, Derek Brown, Will Washington, Sawyer Dart. Oh, it just gets worse next year. Jalen Hurts, no! Oh, no. And A.J. Brown as well? I hate my life. I don't want to move on, but I can't pay anybody. I just lost Kayvon Thibodeau for nothing. I should have just traded him anyway. I should have just traded him for a draft pick or something. Because now I lost him. I can't pay him. Oh, and George Kittle wants to come here. Derek Stingley wants to come here. Debo doesn't want to come here. Kayvon, no. Kayvon's got 6 teams interested. Lewis Seen's got 7 teams interested. And I can't sign any of these guys. Chris Olave's got 2 teams interested. It's not the greatest free agency class, but it's pretty good. But I don't have any money. And I can't sign anybody because I gotta sign people next year. I gotta sign Jalen Hurts next year. I screwed the pooch. I screwed the pooch. But hey, we got the 5th overall pick. Yippee-ki-yay. Yippee-ki-yay. Now we have to figure out what we're going to do with the 5th overall pick. Oh, we have the 2nd over... No, that's the 2nd mock draft. Oop, that's my bad. Yippee-ki-yay. That's our pick right there, that Titans pick. I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I suck at this thing. Okay. So, I don't want to see free agency because I'm sad. I lost Kayvon Thibodeau for nothing. I should have traded him for a draft pick and taken the more salary cap hit. What was I thinking? Am I really that dumb? I might be. I might be just the dumbest. And this draft class isn't even that great. It really isn't. There's been better draft classes. Oh. I think we got worse. I mean, we brought in Nick Bolton, which is cool. But I think we got worse. Where did he sign? George Kittle signed with the Rams. Debo's a Colt. Stingley signs with the Jags. Breece Hall goes to the Patriots. Great. Teron Johnson's a Packer. Kayvon's a Dolphin. Lewis Seen's on the Patriots. Fun. Drake London's a 49er. Who else did the Patriots sign? Ibakite's the Patriot. Chris Olave's on the Giants. Jeez, the Patriots went crazy. They don't usually sign free agents like that. John Mechie's on the Niners. I could have had those guys if I had money. If I had freaking money. But I don't have freaking money because I got to pay people next year. Oh, wow. This is not how I expected this to go. Not at all. Not at all. And we got to pay the founding father next season. Oh, wow. Wowza. We're probably going to take Alani Johnson. We are probably going to take Alani Johnson. Is there a free safety that's super good that I just didn't notice? I went through this class recently, and it's just not that great of a class. Julian Clements, not amazing. He's not even that great physically. What about Jerome Monroe? He's a hybrid kind of guy. He's got great speed. I'd be interested in seeing more of him. So Jerome Monroe is a guy that I want to see more of. What about a corner? The corner class is not great at all. Scarborough's okay. Middle linebacker. And this draft class just in general is not that great. Tim Epps. What about you? Gerald Hunt. He's got elite strength, but nothing really else. A tackle, a block shed. I'm kind of intrigued by him. He's around 1 to 2 talent. Randy Duff. I'm intrigued by Gerald Hunt. I'm intrigued by that corner. Where's he at? Who was it? No, it was a safety. Jerome Monroe. And I'm intrigued by really nobody else. We know the receiver class is not great, but Jermaine Mason, sure. Give me those 3 guys. Let me see a little bit more about them, and let's go to the draft, because this is already a wash of an episode. This has been scuffed. I apologize. I scuffed up this episode when I traded Evan Neal for that 5th overall pick. I should have traded him for a player, is what I should have done, because I could have saved cap space. But I screwed the pooch. Screwed the pooch. Let me see these guys that I scouted. It was a free safety, Monroe. He's 100%. So he is great speed. A kick return, B man coverage, Z zone coverage. He's a fine player. He's not anything like spectacular. Then I scouted that pass rusher Hunt. Here he is. He is a run stopper with elite strength, marginal speed. He's got a block shed, a play rec, a stamina, a tackle. You know what? Gerald Hunt is actually not that bad of a shout now that I look at it, now that I see him more. And then let me go to, was it a receiver? Yeah, it was Jermaine Mason. What do we know about you? He's a physical 6'2 receiver, good speed, elite jumping, 4'3 at the combine. A catching, a spectacular catch. His release isn't great. He's not a deep threat. He's just a physical receiver who's got great jumping. You know what? Some of those turned out to be okay. I'll put him on the board. If we end up with a pick that we can get him, I wouldn't hate it. We're probably going to take Alani Johnston with our 5th overall pick. That's what I'm thinking. So the Vikings have the 1st overall pick. The draft board says they're going to take who? Probably Courtney Austin, I would assume. Or maybe they'll take Scarborough. He's been talked about being a top pick. If Alani Johnston goes before us, then we'll probably just trade down, is probably what I'm thinking. So the first pick is John Scarborough out of UCLA. Good for him. The second pick is the Seahawks. Larry English goes to the Cougars. I thought it was the Seahawks. Did we pass 2 picks? Did I skip 2 picks? I don't know. Who got taken? Alani Johnston's still there. Huh. It said it was the Seahawks, but then now it's on pick 4. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Glenn Morgan, quarterback from Central Arkansas, goes. So Alani Johnston is still there, and we're going to take him because I think he's the best tackle on the board and the best tackle in this class. We're going to take him. He's hidden development, 85 acceleration, 88 strength. He looks nothing like his picture. EA, what are we doing here? That looks nothing like his picture, but he's 6'6". He's probably going to be our franchise right tackle. We have pick 14 as well. We will keep moving on until we get to that pick. There goes Luke Carey. A lot of tackles in the top of this board. The second quarterback goes off the board. Another tackle. There goes Junior Marsh. Glenn Bowe, Devin Traylor to the 49ers. Dolphins get Paul Cooper, and now we have another pick. This could be a scenario where we trade. This could certainly be a scenario where we trade. If we're not seeing anything that I like, and at the very, very top, I'm not seeing anything that's crazy. Who is this? Chris Schultz. He's an improviser from Jackson State. He's got great strength, solid speed. He's not a freak athletic guy like I would like as a quarterback, but he's got some good accuracy, some good stats. Nothing that blows my mind or anything. So we're either going to take... Who do I think makes it to the second round? Or makes it to the pick 32? That's the question. I guess we don't have to necessarily stay at pick 32. If we trade this pick just a little bit, like, let's see what the offers are. What are the offers here? We could move down to pick 20 and pick up a second round pick as well this year. We could move down to pick 18. If I'm going to trade back, I'm probably wanting 2 first-round picks, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to get that. Not many people want to give up 2 first-round picks. That one's not bad from the Falcons, but it's all this year picks, which could allow us to get picks next year. That's an interesting one from the Falcons, but that's pick 23. Do I want to drop down that far? That's a big question. I don't know if I want to drop down that far. Some of these other picks, like this Bears pick's fine. Like, we dropped to pick 20, which isn't crazy. Is there anything a little earlier? We'd get a 3rd round pick back from the Browns. Pick 21. It's probably going to be either the Bears or the Browns. The Bears or the Browns are probably the 2 that I'm leaning towards the most. Maybe the Falcons, because we get so much in this draft that we could end up using. It's just I don't know when those guys are going to go off the board, and I kind of want them. I'm going to do this Falcons deal. We move to pick 23. We get a 2nd round pick this year and a 4th round pick this year. And we just have to hope that those guys don't go off the board that early. They might. There's a very good chance that they could. We could also move up. I guess that's also a possibility. Ben Valentine, Larry Bayer, pick 22. Okay, so they didn't go off the board. So now we traded down, got more assets, and have an ability to take them if we want to. That tackle's also still here who looked pretty good, Joey Walsh. He was on my board. He also has a lot of great physicals. He looks pretty good. Joey Walsh. Those guys are still down there. There's Jermaine Mason and Jerome Monroe. They're both down there, which I think we could get one of them with our 32nd overall pick. We're going to take Joey Walsh. Yeah, I know I've taken 2 tackles in the first round. That's probably not a smart drafting decision, but I think both of those guys are pretty good. There goes Jonathan Martin, Julian Clements, Devin LeBlanc. Do we get lucky? Roy Fisher goes. Henry Bird, Larry's cousin. Bradley Ridley. Ricky Childress. We super got lucky here that both of the players that I want are available. Who do we take first, though? Do we take the receiver or do we take the safety? I think we take the safety first and then trade up to get the receiver. Let's do that. Let's take Jerome Monroe. He's only normal development. Kind of sucks, but he's got 89 acceleration, 87 agility, and 92 speed. He looks like a pretty solid player. Normal development kind of sucks, but it's okay. Andrew Burrow, Manny Norwood. This is probably where we need to trade up. Let's trade up with the Seahawks. So let's go to, not the draft board. I probably could go a little bit more, but I don't know who needs a receiver, who doesn't need a receiver. I don't want to take a risk. I really want this guy. I don't even know if he's going to be any good, but I kind of want this guy. So we're going to trade up with the Seahawks. They have they have a pick in the 2nd round. They're the pick that's up right now. So we will go to the Seahawks, ask for their pick 37, and we will trade pick 58 and pick 96. We don't need all those draft picks. So there we go. We get up. Perfect. We can take Jermaine Mason was his name, I think. All right, perfect. Yeah, Jermaine Mason. I don't even know if he's going to be any good. He's a 6'2" physical receiver who's got pretty good speed. 4'3". He ran at the combine, and he's got elite jumping. He's a hidden development receiver out of South Kakalaki. Perfect. 96 jumping's insane. 92 speed, 88 acceleration. He could end up being a really good player for us. So we've only taken one player that's not a hidden development, which is awesome. And I don't want to go back to the draft board. No, I don't want to go back to the draft board. I don't think we need to trade up anymore. I don't see anybody else that's highly valued, to us at least. There goes Whitfield, Stackhouse. We took a little bit of a look out. There goes Gerald Hunt. Was Gerald Hunt one of the other guys that I was in? Yeah, I think he was. I forgot about Gerald Hunt. I think he was the linebacker, or the rusher that we looked at. Yeah, he was. Ah, that sucks. I forgot about him. That's my bad. I forgot about him. But other than him, I don't know if there's another player in this draft that we actually need. What about you? Trevor Allen, 6'5" guard. Could be decent. He's got some good stats. We'll put him on the... Or we'll keep an eye on him. I can't put him on the board, but we'll keep an eye on him. Is he going to be here for our pick? Maybe. He might be here. It's not like we need offensive linemen, though. We're pretty good on that. Let's skip to the next user pick. Make our selection. Is that guard available? He is. Trevor Allen out of Washington is our draft pick. He's a known development player. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. He seems to be pretty good. Maybe he could grow into something. You never know. Trade away this pick. There goes Marquise Taylor, who was the last person on our board. We need to get some picks for this draft next year. And it looks like everybody wants to give me picks for this year and next year. I don't really want picks for this year and next year. I want picks for next year. Everybody's giving me second round picks. That's fine and dandy. But I'll take the Bears second and third for this second round pick. We're going to have a lot of ammo. It's just a matter of the cap space. We don't have any cap space. That's the problem. Okay, so we have pick 26. We have pick 28 as well. Is there anybody left that I need to have? I don't want any more linemen. I have too many linemen already. Is there anybody left that has any decent stats, at least at the base? A 6'4" tight end, Brian Ballantyne. What a name. He's got great speed. His impact blocking's not great. I'll take a flyer on Brian Ballantyne, and then I'll probably trade the rest of the picks, only because he's 6'4", and he's also from South Carolina. He's got 85 acceleration, 84 speed. We could always use an extra tight end. And we'll probably trade the rest of these picks. Trade away this pick, because I just don't think that there's anybody else left. There probably is. I'm probably passing up on some stuff, but that's okay. That is okay, because we'll take this third-round pick from the Titans, even though we have a ton of third-round picks already. We'll skip to our next user pick. We don't have a pick until the 23rd pick in the 4th round then, so we'll take... I don't want any 2026 picks. I'll take the Texans 3rd and 6th. I'm getting so many picks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Next user pick is this one. I might as well just go into the actual trade and trade away a bunch of draft picks for something. So let's go do that. So let's trade this one, and this one. And we'll go to, I don't know, a random team like the Raiders. We'll trade with the Raiders. They can give me their second round pick. No, they'll give me a 3rd round pick. Okay. Trying to get a little sneaky there. They'll give me a 3rd round pick. Perfect. Done. Then we can go in here and we can trade, not Justin Jefferson, 5, 6, 6. And we can go to a random team like the Jaguars. And we can trade for their 4th round pick. Yes, sir. Make it happen. Perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We can go and trade these last 2 7s to a random team like the Eagles, and we can get a 6th, I'm hoping, next year. 2 7s for a 6. Nope. 2 7s for a 7. Perfect. I love it. Love it so much. Done. We have no more draft picks in this draft. I feel like we did a good enough job with what we were given, but we got a lot of ammo for next season. We have a lot of 3rd-round picks. We have 2 first-round picks. Neither of which are ours? No, I think this one's ours. A lot of 2nds, a lot of 3rds, couple 4s. We got a lot of picks and a lot of players that are expensive who need more money. We have no more picks remaining. Let's skip to the end of the draft and see the ratings of our offensive line class that we took. We took 3 offensive linemen in this class. I think all of them will end up being very good for us, especially Alani Johnston. I think he will be pretty good. He's probably going to have to be our franchise left tackle, and he's a 75 overall. All right, pretty good. Jermaine Mason was actually the highest rated player we took at a 76 in the 2nd round. He's got a lot of good attributes. He could end up being pretty... I'm assuming he's going to be a star development player. Then Johnston. Walsh is a 74. Monroe's a 73. Not too bad, but he also didn't have a development trait, right? Yeah, he's only normal. So that kind of sucks a little bit. Ballantyne's a 67. Kind of blows. And then Trevor Allen was a 72. You know what? It's not a bad draft class. It's not that bad. It could have been a lot worse. The highest player rated in the draft was a running back, Leslie Peterson, 78 overall. 2 running backs for the 2 highest rated. Then Glenn Morgan. Who was the 3rd pick in the draft? Because I skipped over it, I guess. It was Larry English, Courtney Austin. Okay, so nothing too crazy. But out of the top guys in the class, we got one of them, 2 of them. Like out of the top 10, top 15 guys, we got a couple of the top guys. I'm kind of happy with that. And that is going to have to be our offseason. It didn't go the way that I planned it. I'll say that much. Our team is a little bit different, to say the least. We go into the preseason. I'll have all this done by the next episode. Next episode will be week 1 against, it looks like, the Patriots. But we've got an offensive line that is interesting. Sawyer Dart, do we start him at... We could trade Jedrick Wills, start Sawyer Dart at left tackle, have Alani Johnston play right tackle. But we've got some depth. We've got some big boy depth at the offensive line position. We've got 4 tight ends because we drafted that Ballantyne guy. Jalen Hurts. We probably need to get another quarterback because we have Roberts, but he's not really there. We need to get another running back. We don't have a lot of depth there. Receiver, we lost a lot of... The offense is interesting, boys. The offense is interesting. Our defense is also interesting. We've got new face, Nick Bolton. We've got Steve Smith. They want to start Ashton Davis, who lost his star development trait. That's kind of sucky. I hate this. This team is worse than what we were last year. We lost a lot of depth and a lot of really good players. And it's my fault, too. It's my fault because I got greedy. I traded for Evan Neal, and I got greedy. Nate Harris is going to be our kick returner and our punt returner because he's Nate Harris. Specialists, slot corner is going to have to be Sauce. Although, no, it doesn't have to be Sauce, I guess. I'm fine with all that. Power running back, all that stuff. They want Justin Jefferson in the slot. I don't hate that, actually. I don't hate that. But I want Garrett. Should I want Garrett Wilson in there? I think I want Garrett Wilson in the slot. I'll change all that. I'll have it all ready by the next episode. But that's going to do it, boys. I don't know if I like that offseason. It was an interesting one, to say the least. And this offseason coming up next time is going to be even crazier because we got Jalen Hurts up for a contract. A.J. Brown up for a contract. A lot of guys that need to get paid a lot of money, and we don't have that money. So we're going to figure it out. But that's going to do it for this episode. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my assessment that this wasn't the greatest offseason in terms of what we gave up, what we lost, and what we brought in to replace. I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays on the games starting in week 1 against the Patriots. It's a good thing we didn't trade anybody to the Patriots. But they did sign a couple players in free agency, so they got better, I think. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.